So this lesson we will be looking at different levels of intellectual disability as well as the nature-nurture debate over intelligence. Right, so looking at individuals with an intellectual disability, there would be two criteria here. First of all, the IQ or intelligence quotient must fall below 70. But in addition to that, individuals must have difficulty adapting to everyday life. So there are four different levels or degrees of intellectual disability, and um, these come from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, which lists all mental illnesses. So at the highest level, a mild level, of disability, you can see the intelligence score or intelligence quotient would range anywhere from 50 to 70. The majority of all people with this disability fall into this category. So, in this, the limitations, people who fall in the mild category, they can progress to a middle school level mentality. I know it says sixth grade here, but you're looking, anywhere from sixth to eighth grade level. So as an adult, somebody in the mild category, they can often live on their own and support themselves, working in um, certain vocational areas. They would need jobs that somebody's watching over them and assisting them and helping them. Most of their jobs would include things that are very repetitive. Um, since, as we've learned before, your ability to think abstractly or hypothetically doesn't happen until around seventh or eighth grade. Most individuals in this category don't get to that point. So, being in a job where there's a lot of uncertainty or having to make snap decisions wouldn't be good. So they would need something, like I said, that provides a lot of structure and regularity. The moderate level, as you can see, about 10% fall into this category. So you're looking at an IQ score, intelligence quotient of 35 to 49. Individuals in this category progress mentally to around a second grade level. So if you think about like a 7 or 8 year old, adults when they get older, they most of them live in like assisted living, and they definitely need people to like watch over and be in like a group home. Some of them remain at home with their parents, um, but they do need supervision as a 7 or 8 year old would, and they can do basic chores and tasks and odd jobs. Like if they live in a group home, they could, sweep and help cook. They can take care of themselves as far as their personal hygiene. Think about what a 7 or 8 year old could do. They can do a lot for themselves, but somebody has to obviously be watching over them and supervising them. Severe category, an intelligence quotient 20 to 34, 3 to 4% fall in this range. And here, individuals in this category usually get to a toddler level of mentality. So they may learn to talk. Think about a 2 year old. They can talk, say basic things. They can like brush their teeth and, feed themselves, things like that. But they need a lot of obviously supervision as a toddler would. So these individuals would definitely be either living at home or in assisted living in a group home. Or sometimes if it's in the lower end, an institution. So the profound category, this would be an intelligence quotient below 20. Very few fall into this range, but this is like an infant. So, think of an infant, you have to do everything for them. So they can't talk, they can't feed themselves. Most of them cannot even walk here. So you're thinking about what you would have to do for an infant. So, a few causes of intellectual disability. Um, First of all, it could be an illness that the mother experiences while she's pregnant. I've listed some examples like syphilis, measles, meningitis. Could be pretty much anything that one might have a very high fever for that would interfere with the brain development. So it could be some type of virus also. Destruction of brain tissue. This could be a result of the child having an accident, a blow to the head, shaken baby syndrome. Um, this could also be a result of childhood illnesses like measles, mumps, or rubella, something that would cause the child to have a very high fever that could not be brought under control. Environmental factors, and also medication. Certain medication can cause destruction of brain tissue. Environmental contributions, this could be malnutrition, lead. We used to have lead paint in homes, and that can cause a decrease in cognitive function, and it cause intellectual disability as well. Household cleaners could be a factor, or any type of chemicals that a child might be exposed to. 5% of all individuals with intellectual disability stems from a genetic cause, and the number one genetic cause of intellectual disability would be Down syndrome. So Down syndrome is caused by an extra chromosome in the 21st pair. As you know, we have 46 chromosomes, 23 from our mother, 23 from our father. So on the 21st pair, there's an extra chromosome, which causes the individual to have cognitive limitations. Most individuals with Down syndrome fall in that mild to moderate level of intellectual disability. Now, in addition to having cognitive limitations, there are also physical characteristics that you see here. Face has like a flat appearance. The head is smaller than average. The ears are smaller and kind of lower set. There's the inner epicanthal folds of the eyes, makes the eye look narrow and short. So just upon delivery, you'd be able to tell if an individual had Down syndrome without assessing them cognitively. So the next topic is looking at the impact of nature or nurture on our intelligence. We already looked at this when we talked about the chapter on nature nurture. So when we're talking about the nature nurture debate with intelligence, we have to look at the term heritability. So there's behavior geneticists that are investigating which has a bigger impact on us, nature or nurture. They look at the proportion among individuals that we can contribute to genetics, like what do we inherit? And we do find through the twin studies and adoption studies that we talked about that it seems that intelligence tends to be something that is genetic, looking at individuals who are adopted at birth. When they're tested later, their intelligence scores correlated more with the biological parents as opposed to the adopted parents. And also looking at the twin studies, the twins who were separated at birth, so the same genes raised in separate nurturing environments, when they got back together, their IQs were pretty much spot on. So intelligence does seem to be something that we inherit. So as I was talking about looking at twin and adoption studies, it seems that the more genetically similar we are to another person, the more our scores will correlate with one another. But we also have to look at there are environmental factors or nurturing factors that can contribute to our intelligence level. So yes, it may be predetermined in your genes what level you should get to intellectually. But if you are deprived of an encouraging environment that pushes you into education and learning, you may never reach that full potential. So that brings us to the schooling effect. So the schooling effect is an environmental influence or impact on our intelligence, which should be very obvious. The more schooling that one has, the higher your intelligence will become. So schooling and intelligence positively correlate. So here we have a common sense idea, but we have a name for it, schooling effect. So here, just like every other topic we've looked at, nature and nurture go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. So it's a combination of both. The genes lay the foundation. So you're predetermined to develop to a particular intelligence level without proper nurturing, being put in a positive environment where that's going to be encouraged, you may never get there. Or you can even go above and beyond what's in your genes with extra schooling and a little bit more nurturing and push towards education. So just like a seed you put in the ground, that's the nature side. You put the seed in the ground, but without adequate sunlight and water, it's not going to grow. So they're both very, very important. And we find that with just about every topic that we've looked at.